This morning, NOAA, NASA has declared 2016 the hottest year in the 137-year-old record that has been kept. Donald Trump has called global warming a hoax caused by the Chinese. Do you agree that global warming is a hoax?
I do not, Senator.
So Donald Trump is wrong?
I do not believe that climate change is a hoax.
Okay, that's important for the President to hear. Mr. Pruitt, you've made a career working on behalf of the fossil fuel industry to eviscerate regulations designed to protect public health and the environment. You have sued the EPA 19 times to stop clean air and water protections. 8 of those cases are still ongoing, including your litigation that challenges critical rules that reduce levels of hazardous smog, mercury, and carbon pollution. As EPA administrator, you would be in a position to serve as plaintiff, defendant, judge, and jury on these ongoing 8 lawsuits, and that would be wrong. In your ethics agreement, you have said that you would not participate in any matter that is ongoing litigation within 1 year. But, Mr. Pruitt, isn't it correct that these lawsuits may very well continue for much longer than 1 year?
Well, Senator, I have the letter from the Ethics Council at the EPA, and the 1-year time period is intended to address covered entities that I served in a chairmanship or a officer capacity. The Southern Theological Seminary, the Windows Ministry, those entities are covered entities. So if there is a matter that arises before the EPA within a 1-year period, a particular matter, a specific case that involves those entities, then the recusal would be in order. But that's really the focus of the 1-year timeline.
Will you agree to recuse yourself from those lawsuits which you brought as the Attorney General of Oklahoma against the EPA, not just for 1 year, but for the entirety of the time that you are the administrator of the EPA? Will you commit to doing that?
Senator, for clarity, I think that it's important to note that the 1-year time period, again, is for those covered entities that were highlighted in the EPA letter. With respect to pending litigation, the EPA Ethics Council has indicated with respect to particular matters and specific parties, there will be an opportunity to get counsel from the EPA at that point to determine what steps could be taken to avoid appearances of impropriety.
So you will not are you saying that you will not recuse yourself from the actual matters which you're suing the EPA on right now as Attorney General of Oklahoma for the time that you are the head of the EPA?
I'm not saying that at all, Senator.
You are saying that. Will you recuse yourself?
I'm saying that the EPA Ethics Council has indicated those cases will require a review by the EPA Ethics Council, and if it involves a particular matter with a specific party, then recusal would potentially be in order, and I would follow the guidance and counsel of EPA
just think
Ethics.
This is a clear line for the American public, given your record from Oklahoma in suing the EPA on these matters, that if you don't agree to recuse yourself, then again, you become plaintiff, defendant, judge, and jury on the cases that you're bringing right now as Attorney General of Oklahoma against the EPA. And that the EPA is for all of the people of the United States, not just the fossil fuel industry of Oklahoma. So you're not committing, and I think that's a big mistake, Mr. Pruitt, to recuse yourself from those cases. It is critical. And moreover, you also are in a position to initiate regulations that could overturn smog protections, carbon pollution protections that are right now on the books that you are suing as Attorney General of Oklahoma to overturn. Would you commit to not promulgating new regulations in any of the areas where you right now are suing the EPA? Would you make a commitment that you would recuse yourself from doing that?
Let me be clear, Senator, because we talked about this in your office and very much enjoyed the conversation we had there in addition to this area that we talked about. I have every willingness and desire to recuse as directed by EPA Ethics Council. And if directed to do so, I will in fact do so, to recuse from those cases. There is a difference, as you know, between pending litigation, a particular matter, with specific parties, and prospective rulemaking. Rulemaking goes through a process.
Look, what the American people are expecting here is that EPA doesn't turn into every polluter's ally. The only way to ensure that is for you to recuse yourself from the cases that you have brought, because most of them are to overturn the clean air, clean water, smog regulations. So to create an appearance of independence, it's critical that you recuse yourself.
And I will recuse.
Otherwise, honestly, people are going to think that it's not just the fox guarding the hen house, it's the fox destroying the hen house, because you haven't distanced yourself from the actual litigation that you have initiated on most of the key issues that you are now going to have responsibility for protecting in terms of the public health of the entire country.
And Senator, I can say to you unequivocally, I will recuse as directed by EPA Ethics Council.
And I'm saying to you is that you should just start out saying, I'm going to recuse myself from anything that relates to any litigation that I have initiated as the Attorney General of Oklahoma that questions the clean air, clean water, climate change, or smog, or mercury protections, which are right now on the books that the EPA is honored to protect. And if you don't do that, then we're going to have a fundamental conflict of interest that is presented by your presence as the administrator of the EPA. It just gets down to being a matter as simple as that.
The Senator's time has expired.